everyone. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm coming to you today from stampinnotes.com. I have a really neat Christmas card for you today, and this is the card. I love it with the bears. It's a snow shaker card with a snow globe. It says Season's Greetings, and you open it up. May the timeless message of Christmas fill your heart and home with joy today and always. I just love this buffalo plaid here, or the buffalo check. And I'm going to be using the buffalo check stamp set to stamp this pattern on here. And I'm also going to be using today the Still Scenes stamp set, the sentiments and the house. And I'm going to be using the dies from the Still Scene dies. And if you purchase these as a bundle, you will receive 10% off. So the papers that I'm using today, I'm using basic black. It's 11.5 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. This is our cardstock base, and we'll do this with a bone folder to get it to lay nice and flat. I'm using a piece of Whisper White that's 5 1/4 by 4 for the outside layer, and a piece for the inside sentiment, same size, 5 1/4 by 4. I'm using one piece of real red that's 5 by 3 3/4 for the front. And I also have a scrap piece of black, basic black that's, 3 by 3, and scrap to die cut the bears out of. So first of all, we're gonna stamp the buffalo check onto our real red, and this is a buffalo check stamp. It's a very large stamp. Because it's so large, I'm going to use a Stamparatus. And you'll see why. So I'm bringing in the Stamparatus, and this is our Stamparatus here. I've got the stamp already inked up over on this side, and I've placed a piece of scrap paper here. I'm not going to use the magnets to hold down the paper I'm going to stamp on because this is so large. Instead, I'm going to take a piece or a mini glue dot to hold it in place. I'm just going to kind of roll it a little bit so it loses some of its stickiness. And I'm going to place it about right here. So what's nice about this is if you stamp and you don't get a good inking the first time, it will be in the same position and you can restamp. So you want to give a good press with this. Let's see what we've got. Okay, we've got a little bit of spattering there, and I'm going to bring in my ink pad or Memento black ink again and ink it back up. I hope you can see this okay. And we're going to go back down and stamp on that piece of real red cardstock. This tool is wonderful if you're doing a whole bunch of cards at the same time and you're using the same sentiment over and over. It has 2 small magnets that you would usually put down. All right, to build my snow globe, the first thing I'm going to do is get my 4 by 4 or 3 by 3 piece of basic black paper right here. I'm going to take the trees, and these are die cut from our glitter paper. Aren't they beautiful? They're just so pretty. And I got a little thread on my ink, probably from the curly ribbon. All right, I'm gonna put that about right there. Now my bears. We do have black bears around our house. We have a cornfield below our house, and they like to get into the corn. and I love to walk, but I've been a little bit hesitant too. Mainly, I don't think they would be bothersome, but I don't want to run into one, and I don't want to run into a mama bear. If you get my drift with a baby. All right, so I'm gonna put mama there, and baby we will put right next to her, kind of below her. Like about right there. We're going to take a pinch of, these are the snowflake sequins. They're really pretty. And they're kind of, can't figure out which way is the top. Here we go. I'm just going to take a pinch of them and put them in the center, because I'm going to add our ice glitter to them. We have a bunch there. All right. Now this is the, this is the ice Stampin' Glitter. I'm going to add a couple pinches of that. All right, these are the snow globes, and they come in a pack of 10, and they have a sticky ring here that we peel this off. There's a sticky ring there, and they have a sticky side here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my embossing buddy and just run it on it, because it will remove the static, so the snowflakes and the little ice glitter doesn't stick to just that. I'm going to center this about, I'm looking at the bottom, this part here. This doesn't have to be straight because it's going to be hidden. Now I'm going to take this top part off, like that. And take our check piece. We're going to put it right over it, like that. It's better. Okay, I'm going to snip off this extra black piece right here. Probably should be doing it with a trimmer. Okay, now I'm going to add layers to our cardstock base. So here's our cardstock base. First we're going to put on the Whisper White. Just a little bit of liquid glue, multi-purpose liquid glue. And is that looking straight? Not too bad, I guess. Now we're going to add our plaid layer. One thing I will tell you about doing if you use these snow globes, I tried initially putting the globe on this piece and then putting this piece over it. Don't do that, because if you're crooked at all, you can't change it. Where this, if you put the top part over, you can place it exactly where you want it on the card. There, that looks good. All right, now for our base. This is our base piece. I'm gonna add a little glue on there. My fingers are so inky. I'm gonna push that right up against that. Let me look at it here. Go up a little farther. Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do now for this beautiful metal looking piece, it's our silver foil. I'm going to ink it up. I'm bringing in our silicone mat, laying it face down. And this is a sponge I have in a binder clip that I use just to ink up pieces. And I'm gonna put some glue on it, like that. And I'm just gonna take it and dab it on the back of this. And the silicone mat is really nice because any glue won't stick to it. Whatever kind of glue you're using, even if it's a tape runner you're using on it, it will not stick to it. It will adhere to the paper on the card instead, which is what we want. We don't want glue all over. We're gonna put this right over this black piece. I'll turn it and see if I've got it right. It needs to go up just a tad here. There. And now I'm going to add a bow with our curly ribbon. This is our curly ribbon. It's really more like a yarn. Make a bow here. And we want our tails a little shorter on this one. Come in with a couple of glue dots. I'm going to use 2 to hold that yarn. There's one. Here's the other one. I'm going to press that down good. Now for our sentiment. I have a small piece of black cardstock. It is cut, here it is, with the smallest rectangle from the stitch rectangle dies. I'm sorry, not the smallest, it's the second to the smallest. So here's the stitched rectangle dies, and it's this one right, this one, not that one. And I'm gonna heat emboss the sentiment on it, Season's Greetings. So I wanna use my embossing buddy. And the embossing buddy will take the static out of it so that tiny pieces of powder won't stick all over the cardstock. I'm going to bring in my Versamark ink, stamp up the greeting. Let's see here, that looks about right. Bring in the white embossing powder. So this is the sentiment, and I'm going to pop it up with some dimensionals on the front. These are our dimensionals. Love dimensionals. They make things kind of pop and stand out. And we're going to put this on the bottom. Probably, that looks about right. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thanks for stopping by.